Welcome, everyone. Good afternoon. Quiet group. Thank you. It's all right. Hey, so anybody know why we're here today? Big announcement. So, you know, we've had lots of up and downs over the last couple years with, you know, this hospital and this hospital closing, and then the panic to reopen, and then what are we going to do long term, and you know, build and rebuild. And I think, you know, it's no secret, you know, we're here today, and thank you, Governor, for being here with us today. We're here today to say that, you know, we're going to rebuild this hospital. We're going to make it the greatest hospital you could imagine, guys. So we're very excited about that. So it's, you know, like I said, it's been a windy road. You put COVID in there, but it's been, you know, we've got some of our staff here today, and, you know, and I've watched this over the last year. We reopened this hospital back in June of 2020, so June 30th, so coming up on a year. And it's been wildly successful. Folks have done a great job here. And, you know, and I've been watching it. And I interact with our team in Morgantown and here constantly. And it, you know, took a little while. And we had structural engineers go through this building every which way, architects, a team of folks. You know, Aaron Yanuzos back there has led a lot of that charge. Dr. Good and Marshall and Godwin and others, and Kerry Morgan and others have done a great job here. And what became, it took a little while, you know, and we had to figure out, this is a very old building. This is a hospital that struggled for years, right? The original nonprofit Fairmont Medical Center, you know, went bankrupt back in the early 2010s. The Electo, the company that came in and ran it, struggled for a number of years. And there was a lot of deferred maintenance in this building, and we had to figure out a long-term sustainable plan. You know, and so we looked at the pros and cons of staying in this building or building a new building out at the Gateway where we have our clinic, and that was our original plan, you know. But two things I think kind of had to become evident for me. One is it became, you know, very evident that if we were, there are a tremendous number of patients that come out of Marion County and require not only outpatient health care, but significant inpatient health care. And we're taking care of a lot of folks at this building, and we're still having to transfer a lot of patients to either Morgantown or Bridgeport. So the first thing that became evident to me was, one is there is a need for a large comprehensive hospital in this community. And then two, and so once you make that decision, then two, it really becomes, you know, do you stay here or do you build a new building? And it was obvious the new building, if we built it at Gateway, was going to have to be significantly large. So we looked at what our programming would be, and we decided that it's going to take a ton of work. This is a great building with a great number of stories, and we're doing great patient care, but this is a fixer-upper, okay? This is going to require a lot of work. So what we're essentially going to do is we're going to rebuild this hospital in place, and it's going to be something that goes over the next 5 years or so, but we're going to start by building, and because, you know, every window in this facility needs replaced, every roof needs replaced, just about every pipe in it needs replaced, but we're going to do it because, you know, because of the size and scope. Quite honestly, if we build it somewhere else, it would probably cost us twice as much to build something this large. And the second thing is, this is really right in the core of Fairmont and Marion County and serves the entire region. It's right by Fairmont State University. So this is the right decision and the right thing to do, so we're excited to come to this point. So you are going to see us. So we're already operating. I think we're approved for 42 beds. We're staffing up to fill those 42 beds. The ED is doing a great job. We're up to seeing 50, 55 patients a day. And as we come out of COVID, those numbers will increase. So what we're going to do is we've actually got funding and board approval for the first, I think, $30 or $40 million, where we are going to continue, obviously, to run the clinics we're running here, the emergency department, the beds. We are in the next few days going to file to build a 30-bed skilled nursing unit in this building. So we'll take one of the existing floors, renovate it, and I think it's probably going to take about a year or so, but we'll add 30 beds to the campus in the form of a skilled nursing facility. Simultaneously, we're going to build a new central energy plant on the campus. So if you look here, we'll get to the point that we're going to tear part of it down, but we'll build a new central energy plant, right, that starts to put the infrastructure in place that will allow us down the road to add 40 more beds. It will allow us to reopen the 4 operating rooms. It will allow us to reopen the 2 procedure endoscopy rooms so that this becomes a full-service community hospital with, lots of jobs and activity, and really a bustling epicenter for healthcare in Marion County. So the 39 and 41 building, we're actually in a building that will come down. There are parts of this campus, God bless it, that just needs to go away and allow us to build anew. But when we're all said and done, remember, WVU Medicine is the academic health system of the land-grant University of the State of West Virginia, and we have certain treatment protocol standards, and we also have facility standards. So it's going to take a while to get this building up to where we want it to be, but long term, we didn't want to commit to this until we knew we could do it in a fashion that we'd all be proud. So when you look at these renderings and you look at all the things, now I should say some of this, opening the ORs and stuff is pending, certificate of need approval, and it's going to take a few years, but when we do it, it will all be at our standards and something we will be proud of. So you see future state, our goal is those ORs, 40 additional beds. Infusion Cancer Center will add outpatient oncology here, along with the radiation oncology we already have here. Continued infrastructure upgrades, like I said, the demo of the 39 and 42 buildings that stand here today. We'll reappoint the brick and everything. We'll add the helipad. And when we're all said and done, we'll have a hospital, somewhere in that 100-bed range. You'll have 500 and some employees here, and we'll have full-service comprehensive care and the ability to take care of folks in our community. So thrilled to be here today. I'm going to introduce my good friend and the man that really helped make this happen. When we went through this difficulty closing a year ago, and encouraged us to do the right thing and get there. So, and then we'll stop and answer any questions. But Governor Justice, thank you for being here today.
I'm still gonna move this over here, okay? How about that? Well, first of all, it's a happy day for me. I think, was it this room we met in when I was here? And you've done some, surely, upgrades to the room. If I could read a timeline, and my communications people just handed me this. If I can get it apart here. They said on February the 18th, Fairmont Regional Medical Center announces plans to close within 60 days. This is, I guess, in 2020, is that correct? February 18th, Fairmont Regional Medical Center announces the plans to close in 60 days. Same day, Governor Justice pledges to do everything possible to ensure those in the Fairmont and all across Marion County have access to a local hospital. February the 20th, 2 days later, Justice meets with hospital administrators, doctors, and other staff members to discuss the financial challenges and evaluate the options. That was here. February 13th, Justice announces an agreement with WVU to keep the hospital operating while a new full-service facility is constructed at the other place. And June the 30th, we have a grand opening here. Now, let me tell you, this is a wonderful story. This is not kind of a story. This is a wonderful story of how good people worked really, really hard to make something happen that the people here believed was going to be a complete, absolute reality in a good way. You see, when I was here, for good or for bad, I'm pretty good at knowing when something is a no-go or when something's got a chance or when the people really, really have passion and conviction that they can make it go. You deserve so much credit. You really do. You saved a hospital. WVU surely saved a hospital. I'm surely a part of that, but maybe just only a pebbles of the sand. But I believed. I really, really believed. And now, the 7th largest city in the state of West Virginia, it would have been a shame beyond belief that you wouldn't have had a community full-service hospital in Marion County. That's all there is to it. And today, you're on the way to doing something that is a surprise to everybody. WVU Medicine are superstars beyond belief. Albert's a great friend. All the folks at WVU. You see Clay Marsh as our coronavirus, czar, and all the people at WVU. What an unbelievable facilities and what unbelievable work they do every day. But even with their expertise, even with my expertise, this place could have died. And Albert, I say this to Albert in only in jest, because to be perfectly honest, there was this time when I had to almost sit on Albert and everything and say, by God, we're not going to let this place die. I haven't showed Albert this, but Albert, put your fist up here.
Oh, we did this one, yeah.
That was the encouragement, and so with all of that, look what they've done. Look what they've really done. They're bringing greatness right here to Marion County, right to this facility, the facility that all of you believed in, the facility that absolutely we wanted right in the center of your universe here, to where people didn't have to drive all over Kingdom Come. And now you're on your way to 550 employees, a full-service hospital beyond belief, a facility that absolutely you can go and build another location. You can build out another location. You can go and build another home, but home is always home. That's all there is to it. It's just as simple as that. But a lot of times, home can't be preserved because it's just too big a mountain to climb. These people deserve so much credit. You deserve so much credit. I believed because you believed. And really, at the end of the day, what a day. Could not possibly make anybody more proud than me. That's all there is to it. I absolutely love it and love it beyond good sense. It's another West Virginia story as we're on our way. It's a West Virginia University story. It's a Fairmont Medical Center, or whatever you call your name, story. And it is your story, your legacy that you can pass on to your grandkids and your great-grandkids and on, of what you did to make it happen and preserve this wonderful, wonderful entity. I thank all those. I thank Larry Puccio for bringing it to my attention. I thank all those that put in all the licks to make it happen. I look at Andy here and all the friends and everything. Absolutely, this is a heck of a story. And I couldn't be more proud. So thank you so much for letting me be here again. And I love you with all my soul. I'm really happy for everybody. I'll fix this back.
Oh, good.
I think I'll fix it back. I think I know how to do it. There you go. All right.
We'll take any questions, but let's have a couple of our folks that work here introduce yourself, and anybody that worked here before and after. Go ahead.
I'm Callie Smith. I'm from the pharmacy. I worked here 23 years prior.
Okay, great day.
I'm Shelley Crisway. I worked here 4 years prior and back now on MedSurg.
And we're doing the right thing?
We sure are.
Good,
Families sticking together.
good. Any other comments from any of our employees? Yes?
I'm Brenda Klein, and I worked here 35 years, and it's the silly place I've ever worked.
Brenda, you emailed me after the announcement went out today.
I did.
Thank you, appreciate that.
I'm Laura Maletta, I'm a clinical preceptor here now, but I worked at the former Fairmont for 16 years.
Good, excellent. Anyone else?
I'm Sherry Moore, I worked here 28 years prior.
Good, and we're better than ever?
Yes, absolutely.
Good, 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 good. I mean, remember, when you work in the hospital business, you know, you've got to be thinking, you know, 25, 50 years into the future as to how you're going to always be here for communities. And it's interesting because some of my predecessors, you know, Fairmont's been a challenging situation for years with just how things were going to end up. So I think it's a, you know, it's a very cool day today to know that we've got a long-term plan that's going to work. So questions we can answer. Yes, sir.
So what decisions or research went into the 30 skilled nursing beds?
You know-
That's a new thing.
Yeah, no. So we've actually had 30 skilled, all right, 30 skilled nursing beds in our health system for a while, right? And they were actually beds that were up at Reynolds Memorial in Glendale and St. Joseph's Hospital Buchanan in Buchanan. And there were 30 beds total, and we actually consolidated them, Ruby Memorial, which this hospital is a branch campus of Ruby Memorial. Actually bought them, and we were looking for a place to put them on the Morgantown campus for us to discharge difficult patients. And then as we were doing our due diligence here, we thought, hey, rather than putting them in Morgantown, we've got space here, and so we're going to put them on this campus.
So it'll function as a step down, or anybody from anywhere that needs
Anyone from skilled nursing that needs skilled nursing care. So I'm leaving the hospital, but I'm not ready to go home. I'm going to need an extended care, usually like a 25 or 30-day length of stay, can utilize that facility. I think a lot of those folks will come from Ruby, but technically they could come from any other hospital. Good question. Other questions? Yes, sir.
Hi, I know you said a lot of things are subject to approval, you know, to need and all that. What can you start on that, or what will be the first thing that you can actually start on that you can clear to do?
The 30 skilled nursing beds will be easy for us to do because we already have that certificate of need for approval for that. So that will just be a construction project to get them up and running. And really the biggest next thing you're going to see will be small infrastructure upgrades here, like the creation of the central energy plant, you know, for the boilers and chillers and everything like that. You don't need certificate of need approval to do that. So that will do before we start some of the other build outs because that's really providing that infrastructure. We'll reopen the front door to the hospital because everything's been coming through the ED now. Is that Dr. Tingler back there I see? So Dr. Tingler is one of our great cardiologists that practice here before and is now back, putting the band back together. Dr. Tingler, anything to share?
No, I'm just super happy that this you guys are doing this, because this community definitely needs it.
So, yeah.
After 12 years, and like the people are devastated with the closure.
Yep.
And so this is going to be very well received for sure.
I think so too. So thank you. So, you know, over the next year, we'll start to add clinics. We've got a clinic space upstairs with 10 or 11 exam rooms. We're doing stress tests and things up there. We will add a neurologist. We'll add, you know, there are 3 or 4 other specialties we'll start to add there. So little things like that over the next year in advance of the skilled nursing facility and the infrastructure upgrades. Yes?
So the 40 beds, will they be on med-surg, or will some of it be psych as well?
You know, haven't got that far. Let's see where we get to. Right now, we're just 40 beds. If they need to be behavioral health, if they're med surge, depending on, you know, how all that shakes out, but haven't planned that far ahead yet. Other questions?
So
Yes.
will you guys actually own the property and the building? Because I know there was a situation before with really who owns
Yeah,
the facility.
we will own the facility. We were buying the facility from the organization that owns it today. Yep. Yes.
While all this construction is happening, will patients always have access, or will there ever be a point where you have to shut everything down to continue construction renovation?
It will be painful at times, but we'll always have access and we'll never not have any of our patient care operations open. So you'll shut down pieces and parts at a time while you renovate and move things around. The good news is most of the spaces, and you know, others can chime in that work here if I'm wrong, but most of the spaces we're occupying today, the patient care units, the emergency departments, we've already renovated, so those will not be disruptive. So a lot of the places we're going to renovate are places that are not being used today. Questions for Governor Justice?
Yeah, Governor, this may sound negative, but we all saw the Census Bureau report about the state losing population. So this is a huge announcement given the fact that the numbers are in decline.
Well, we needed to pass the personal income tax, getting rid of that, you know, to tell you the truth. And I know that sounds maybe challenging because you just don't really understand all the intricacies of what I'm saying. But let me just touch on that just 1 second. And it's just this true. We are losing population in West Virginia. No matter what we do, we continue to lose population in West Virginia. We got all kinds of goodness going on, you know, everywhere, and we still lose population. We've got to solve that riddle, don't we? I mean, in all honesty, if we don't, and we just sit back on our laurels, and we can do that right now. I mean, West Virginia's got surplus after surplus, went from the standpoint of where we were, and I don't say this egotistically, but I just say it factually. You know, when I walked in the door, I mean, honest to goodness, we were bankrupt, and things have really changed. And so in all of that, we could sit back on our laurels, but if we do, we're absolutely going to continue to lose population. The census tells us everything. The remote worker thing that we just did tells us everything. Imagine this, now just imagine. You know, we did a remote worker program with Brad Smith, you know, with WVU. You know, it's a phenomenal deal. For 50 spots to come to Morgantown. Now, we're going to set up Lewisburg, we're going to set up Shepherdstown too, but 50 spots. We had over 150,000 people that looked at that site, and 10,000 people filled out an hour-long application to come to West Virginia from every state in the country, every state in the United States, plus six foreign countries for 50 spots. People want to come. They really, really want to come. And that's why I said, and I'll promise you, you just don't understand. You just plain don't understand. But the personal income tax thing, you focused on the things of, you know, well, you're going to raise the sales tax and everything. But absolutely every numbers expert that we had modeled everything out. And the bottom line was just this. You know, I was going to send you checks for $3,000, and you would probably have to pay $700 throughout the year in sales tax or whatever it may be. Who in the world wouldn't want that? I mean, are you crazy? I mean, that's all there's to it. Who in the world wouldn't have wanted that? And the other thing is, it would have truly given us the opportunity to bring lots and lots and lots of folks to West Virginia. Lots and lots of folks. And not only that, is if all of these folks here had $3,000 in their pocket, and they were paying, you know, through the course of the year for cigarettes or for alcohol or whatever it may be, you were paying, or sales tax, you were paying a little bit here, a little bit, and it totaled $600 or $700, other $3,000. What would you have done with the rest of the money? You'd have spent it. And so all these businesses that are all around us here would have benefited like crazy, and that's without one extra person coming to West Virginia. And we've got to solve. You see, that's why I'm here. I mean, I don't want to just ride the parades and sit back on our laurels. I don't want to do that. I want to continue to do any and everything I can to help our state in every way. We are losing population. We got to wake up to that. And absolutely, one other thing I'd like to say on that, and it's just this, is imagine this, in the census, we were counted at all the very highest and best of any state in the whole country, weren't we? Over and over I announced it. We were in a race with, I forget who it was, Alaska or whoever it was, to be the best counted of all. And when the census came out, we were the very best counted. What if we'd have been counted like we'd been counted 10 years ago? Well, we wouldn't even have a congressional seat. We'd be a state park. We were the best counted of all, the very best counted of all, and yet we were so far in last we couldn't even see the people that were in 49th. We lost more population than anybody, hands down, and we were the best counted. I mean, all we got to do is just open our eyes and read the tea leaves. At the end of the day, there's a real way to do this.
Well, by the same token, this new facility could do the opposite, attract people here.
No question. But we have announcement after announcement going on just like this, but we still continue to slide in population. We've got to do something big. Now, this is big. This is really big. And this is an unbelievable announcement for West Virginia. But we absolutely, you've got a lot of things that are still not going quite good enough to get us over the hump. Last thing, just think of this. Think of the mountain. We know we're losing population. We know we're losing. We know we're doing a lot better than we've been doing in the last X number of years. We know we're building roads all over the place. We know we're helping our teachers and our vets and our older people, and we know we're doing stuff like this. We're doing all that. We know we have surpluses. We got every bit of that going on. The toughest part of the mountain, any mountain you've ever climbed in your life, any mountain, it's always steepest right at the top. If we don't do something to get over the top, honest and true, when everything filters out, we'll slide way back down. It won't be good.
But the reality in an aging population is people would move to a place knowing that there's healthcare infrastructure in place.
Well, that's part of our job, or my job, and WVU Medicine's job, is as the governor and his team and others try to promote, population growth and economic drivers, is one of the things, along with great schools, that folks want to have when they move to a community is great health care, right? And that's one thing, WVU Medicine can help control, and you need to have great health care around the state, and that's why we're trying to build out spectacular capabilities in Morgantown and an integrated healthcare system all around the state of West Virginia, where every patient, whether you're in a clinic, an urgent care, a hospital transfer to another hospital, home health, all of our patients are on Epic, our electronic medical records, so all of their imaging, prescription, labs, physician progress notes follow them wherever they go, which results in lower cost, better coordinated, safer care, so that's what we do. And this is a great example of that. If Fairmont is going to continue to prosper as a city and a place where people want to live in Marion County, it has to have great health care. And when you look at, and I look at it, I'm not a native West Virginian or a lifelong person here, but when I look at it, parts of the state are booming. And that means other parts can too. But when you look at Morgantown, it's doing wonderful. When you look at Bridgeport, it's doing wonderful. And it's important that Fairmont, as part of that corridor, does wonderful as well in the Eastern Panhandle. So our job is to make sure we have great health care, and you're right. That allows folks that want to come back to West Virginia to come back. Folks that want to move here, say, wow, I'm going to be part of a great healthcare network and system, and folks that are here already to stay. And that's another part of population growth, is making it so people, that are here stay. Other questions? Juicy rumors. Governor, any closing thoughts?
No, all I'd say is I just thank you. I'm happy as I can possibly be for you and everything. It's a really, really, really great day. And I mean it when I say that you were really kind to me when I came and I was in this room right here. A lot of people really worried, a lot of people really concerned, but today is just another good day. And really, it wouldn't surprise me a bit in the world that we'll be back here, a year from today or whenever, because you just keep pitching out good number after good number and good things after good things. And WVU just, absolutely wants to continue to ride that wave and everything right with you, because altogether they've done great. You're doing great. This whole community is growing and doing a lot of good stuff. And so we just want to continue to make that happen. And that's all, just from my standpoint, you know, I'm, like I said before, I'm not in this to ride the float. I'm in this to continue to try to help and run across the finish line with all of you each and every day.
Thank you, Governor Justice, for being here today, and thank you, everyone. Great day.